What's up guys, Rich here, and look what just arrived. LA.B's AM2 Grall with a golden seal. So let's take a look. Here it is, the French-made new AM2, and it's in 39 millimeters. It's 12.5 millimeters tall, and it uses a 22 millimeter strap width that tapers down to 18 to the buckle. So I said new because while the AM2 model has been around for a while, the previous iteration used the Japanese Miyota automatic movement. This iteration uses the Swiss-made Perret G100 automatic movement with 68 hours of power reserve, and is completely and regulated in France to an accuracy of -4 seconds to +6 seconds a day. And if we're familiar with our cost numbers, it falls right within that. So 68 hours of power reserve is just about right there where we call it weekend proof, where we set it down Friday evening, and if we don't wear it again, we can pick it up Monday morning while it's still running. So it's got a nice long power reserve and quite accurate. So while there are other French brands that are known, such as Baltic and Yema, LA.B is definitely worth getting to know because they make really nice and aggressive looking watches, but I think they have just enough restraint going on with them. The first watch was released in 2011, and if we're wondering about the LA.B branding, well, its founder, Alain Merrick, was born in March in Barret, Switzerland, and its head designer, Jerome Madge, was born in Los Angeles. So LA.B is actually an acronym for Los Angeles and Barret. That leads us to their favoritism towards the number 3. Obviously, March is the third month of the year, hence the March, so there's the LA.B branding, but they also favor 3. And if we look at the date window, which has the background green, which is the same color as the style, so it has a really deep, unique looking green. It's a little harder to show here, but you kind of get an idea of it here. I'll put up some pictures that'll accentuate the green a little better than in here. But going back to the date window, so we can see the digits right there. There's the 31st, which is in white. And then when we start changing the date, there's the 1st, the 2nd, there's the 3rd. So, which is in green to match the rest, just as a favoritism. But when we get to the 23rd, the 3 in there is not also green, which would kind of make it a little harder to read the date with 2 different colors. But the 3 is in green. So that's one of the touches. Of course, this green on the dial, but it's also with this sapphire case back, which is tinted in green. The movement is not green, just a case back. Front sapphire crystal as well, so front and back sapphire. We can see the lining of the leather, which is also green. And they also have green throughout. I'll show more of these details a little bit later, but there's their packaging and a book that comes with it. So obviously green is their signature color. And so while this isn't green, it's also available in blue and white. So we also look at the packaging. That I want to kind of show you this now, but I'm going to wait in a little bit. But I do want to return back to the dial, because while they also chose green is because, according to LA.B, green is an indifferent color. We either like the color or we don't. So there's really not a lot of in between. So they're kind of telling us that we either like the aggressive nature of the watches or we don't. And if we do, they're giving us a really nicely made watch. So they do things kind of their own way. We can see the hour markers. We see them in a normal position, but at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, they're in the horizontal position. The hands, the minute and hour hands, they're the chopstick hands, and it's loom there as well. I don't think the loom is as strong as it could be, or it may not even need any loom at all, but it's got a nice looking dial there. The whole watch is inspired from the 1970s, which was an era of aggressive designs, and it gave us watches like Audemars Piguet's Royal Oak, or Jaeger-LeCoultre's Memovox, or Patek's Nautilus. So it's kind of in that same era, and I think they did a nice job of making an authentic vintage watch here. So I'm trying to show the finishing here. It's alternate. It's got the brushed and polished finishing. We can see the facets, and obviously we're going to notice that the crown position at 4 o'clock. So if this was a traditional square watch, I think the crown at the 4 o'clock position might be a little off-putting for me. But because of the facets and because the way they did it, I think it kind of blends in a little bit more naturally. You see it's a little bit more indented right in there. And then they laid the crown on top of it. Sort of like a jeweler would do by laying a stone, a diamond on a ring. So for me, I think that It blends in actually quite nicely because of the angles on the watch. And the reason that it's at the 4 o'clock position is because its founder, Elaine, was a surfer. And according to March Lab, he felt that the crown position at the traditional 3 o'clock was uncomfortable for him. So he made it another signature theme to put the crown at 4 o'clock position for all of their watches. I've never had that issue where I felt the crown at 3 o'clock was uncomfortable for me. So I kind of like that quirky position, whether it's at the 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock in addition to the 3 o'clock position. It's just never been an issue for me, but that was the reason that March Lab made this their signature crown placement. I think overall, it has just a really, really sharp look. I think that the markers work, even though we see the horizontal placement at 11, 1, 5, and 7 o'clock. It just works. If there's one area, we can see the second hand moving right there. I felt that the second hand could be a little bit longer to reach past the markers, but that's the way they chose to design it. And it's just worth noting. It's more of a preference than anything else. So while this is on the brown bison strap, it also comes on a metal bracelet. And I think the steel bracelet looks really sharp. I like the look of the 7-link bracelet. However, worth noting is that it's not the easiest bracelet to close, especially if you have or wear your watches snugly, because you have less room to catch the clasp together. But if you wear them a little bit looser, it might be a little bit easier to connect the two. But worth noting, for me, I like to wear my watches snug, so it's a little more, not the most convenient way or executed bracelet, but so that is just worth noting. Otherwise, it is a sharp looking bracelet, but a little bit of a challenge to put on. But thank goodness that they have these nice leather straps, all utilizing the quick release system here, so no tools are required, including on the bracelet. This one is in the brown bison leather, and I think it has this burnished kind of aging look to it, which I think is really nice against the green. I think there's a pretty good look at this green. It's a really unique green. It's not a very common looking green that we've seen, but yeah, that's a pretty good look at the dot. It's just a really, really deep, kind of like an emerald green. It just works really nicely. So it doesn't come on this strap, but this is an option. The straps are made in France. Here's another look on the black alligator strap. So we have these different strap options, which I think works really nicely. So if we're a little bit hesitant about the bracelet, thank goodness we do have the strap option. And the leathers are really, really nice quality here. You can see the nice stitching that is done on the bracelet. We can see on the buckle, it also has the facets just like the case shape. This is the black alligator. Really nice. And this is not embossed. This is actual genuine alligator here. So really nice quality on the strap. So I do want to share, like I mentioned earlier, with their signature colors green. Here is their presentation. And the watch comes in this sort of travel wallet, leather wallet here, where the watch actually came in here. And we can hold whatever we want to here, credit cards or stuff like that. And there, of course, we can see the lined green felt as part of their signature look. Also, this book that it comes in, there's green. This is a 2023 edition. A nice touch to read while we're wearing our new watch. So it comes with a lot of nice, useful information on the watch. This is a really nice touch that we get to learn about a watch. It helps us. I actually think it connects with the watch. We connect with the watch a little nicer with details like that. The retail price on the bracelet is about $1,700. Same on the alligator strap. Less on the bison. I think it's about $1,600 on the bison strap. So if we're looking for a French-made watch that gives us some nice aggressive design, but yet tastefully restrained, then I think March Lab AM2 is definitely worth a closer look. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.